Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Austin's Arguments. Today I will be going over my thoughts on the NBA free agency frenzy, the biggest NHL offseason contract extension, and of course the World Cup. So starting off, I'm going to go over a little bit of the NBA free agency and my thoughts on how this ends. And I want to note that this is not what I want, but merely how I predict that this will end up come the season starting. So first, I believe that LeBron and Wade will head back to Miami. Bosh to Houston. Melo stays with the Knicks, though possibly a sign and trade. Gasol and Dane, I believe, will end up in Chicago. And my short reasoning why on all that, uh, Wade is definitely coming back, and I don't know if there is another team even in the mix for getting him at this point. Um, as far as LeBron, as much as I, along with the rest of the world, obviously want him to go back to Cleveland and make amends there, I don't see that happening. I don't see LeBron leaving Miami. He is really close with the community there. Loves Pat Riley, and just he has a house there. So I don't. That along with the fact that they were the only other team that they were the only team that he met with during his so far, and he also said that he's not going to meet with anyone else. So I'd have to believe that he goes back to Miami. I think that Bosh will leave, despite the fact that Bosh is actually waiting for LeBron's decision. I believe that Bosh will leave and head off to Houston to play with Dwight Howard and Harden Beardman. Just I would have to believe that he wants to go there. He probably believes that he has a better chance of winning there, despite the fact that he's going to a much tougher West than the East is. Melo to the Knicks because, well, money. If Melo wanted to win, he would already have committed to a sign and trade with Chicago, but I guess money is more important. So there's that. Gasol will come to Chicago. I believe that this will happen because Chicago has already offered Gasol a starting spot, and I think they're probably in the best position to land him because of the cap space, assuming that the Bulls don't get Melo, as well as they still have like a role for him, and they also have um, a very good team around him. And I think that him playing with Noah is something that really intrigues him. Um, he loves the bid market and he wants to win. So I think that would be a great fit for him. Um, I think that Dane honestly comes back to Chicago, and I don't know if that's because I'm saying that with a Bulls fan bias because I absolutely love Luol Deng, but I think that I I feel like he loves Chicago, and I think that the whole trading him away to keep the contract from hitting. I think that he understands that it's business, and I don't think that he takes it like personally, as if the Bulls are saying that we don't think you're good enough. I think that if you're if you're a Bulls fan, then you have to love him. I think there's probably three players from the early 2000s who you absolutely love, and that is first the captain, Kurt Heinrich, who actually came back for a second stint as well, and incredibly happy to have him back. And then as well, I'd say the second would have to be the killer from the 3-point line, someone that I don't think gets talked often enough about in Bulls history with the whole back-to-back three-peats, and that is Ben Gordon. Just an incredible shooter. And then I'd have to say the third player that you have to love is Luol Deng, just one of the toughest players. He's played through multiple injuries. I can think of, I believe it was 2000. Oh man, whenever the last world competition was, he actually played through I want to say that it was like a wrist, some sort of wrist fracture or something, and he played through it, and it was suggested that he did surgery, and he just said, "No, I'm not. not getting surgery, and he continued to play. And if you look at his minutes, there's one player the last 10 years on the Bulls that's played an incredible amount of minutes, and that's Luol Deng. He never comes out of the game. He's great at guarding, a very good defensive player, has a great shot, he is great at dribble driving. Um, when you talked about him, assuming that LeBron stays in the East, he is used to guarding LeBron and does it very well. Um, so you also have to look at that. I think that, honestly, I just think that he comes back just to pull another Kurt Heinrich and to retire in Chicago. Other free agency news, really, the only thing that I could think of is Parsons kind of signed with the Mavs. Houston still has a chance to match the contract, and not exactly sure when they have to match that by, but it's basically it comes down to Houston still has a chance to match it. It's unlikely that Houston will, so Parsons most likely a Mav. The next topic I want to get into is the NHL offseason, and I only want to bring this up for two reasons. I don't know everything that there is to know about hockey in the NHL, but I know that I love watching it, and I learn more and more as the days go by. And that being said, I wanted to share that the Chicago Blackhawks locked up two of the best players. I'm not going to say the two best players, but they're without a doubt two of the best players for a lot of money. Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane both signed 8-year contract extensions, coming out to $84 million in total, like each. So this puts the Hawks in a tough salary spot. Right now, I've heard reports that they are looking to sell hard on a couple of players. Sharp, Oduya, Seabrook, and Bickle are all possibilities. Like I said, don't quote me on that, and if you have any more insight, feel free to let me know because I'm definitely intrigued. You just gotta love the fact that there's two great players that it's not like the Hawks went out and signed these players away from other teams. They drafted these players. And that's what makes this incredible, and the fact that they have already two Stanley Cup championships, along with another two more Western Conference Finals appearances. So that's a solid part of your team right there. And lastly, well, I guess semi-lastly, I wanted to talk about the World Cup as it is about to come to an end this Sunday when Germany takes on Argentina. Germany whooped Brazil 7-1 to advance on Tuesday. Argentina won in penalty kicks 4-2 on Wednesday over Netherlands. As some of you may know, I've definitely been rooting for Germany since the whole Donovan left off the roster story came about. And I'm really happy to see them do well. Been watching and cheering them on. This isn't something where I guess like I picked a underdog because I went into it knowing that Germany had a very good chance of going all the way, and I guess that's part of the reason once I had decided that I was going to abandon the fact that U.S. really upset me, that I was looking for a team that had a good possibility, but a team that I also connected well with, and I think that Germany fit that. And I feel like a fair comparison to that is I feel like a Heat fan the day before LeBron signed with Miami. It was likely that he was going to sign, but it was still up in the air, and I feel as if I got lucky enough where I kind of picked a good team to root for. I don't know. I have some German heritage, so I guess that also like comes into play. And the one thing that I really love about them is that they're great offensively, and I know that obviously there's not a ton of scoring in soccer, but I obviously you love to see scoring in like any sport that you're gonna watch, and even if that means having a less stellar defense, which I don't think Germany has a terrible defense, but if you were to compare them to other world powers, then I don't think that they match up as well. My prediction for the game on Sunday would definitely have to be a Germany win. I believe that it'll happen either 3-2 or 4-3, and I believe that it'll be in stoppage time. Um, and that's another thing that I don't agree with, but that'll be for another day. Um, that's just about everything that I've got. A little bit of other bits. Chicago right now is really doing work in the All-Star game voting numbers with both Chris Sale in the AL and Anthony Rizzo in the NL are leading the fan votes, like final vote, if you will. Um, Another thing I want to talk about, I just touched briefly on, was how hot Abreu has been. He started off and hitting incredibly good power in the beginning of the season, but the one thing that you notice that he was right around a 250 hitter for the first like 3 months until he got injured in late May and into early June, and then he started with the White Sox in their first game in June, which I think was June 2nd. And since then, he has been hitting a lot better for contact and for average. And I think that that's highly overlooked. He's doing a lot better job of swinging at good pitches, though he still has a ways to go as his strikeout numbers are still a little bit high and something that you want to see him improve on. However, I think that he's definitely improving, and especially the fact that he is a rookie, um, you can't say enough about that. Since his injury, Abreu is has a 316 average with 13 home runs and 28 RBIs, and that's since the early part of June. So that's a little over a month, and that's pretty scary to think about. So that's really all I got for you. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at ISUREPPIN12. That's ISU Reppin 12. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and share if you liked it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think and if you want me to cover something next time. Alright, you guys have a nice day.